So our idea came from trying to make a week of working with data in different methodologies. So we started off with the first day being an introduction to how to work with data. We wanted to aim this at people who had not worked with data much before. And one of the biggest hurdles people have when they first start working with data, I think, is kind of not knowing where to start when they get a data set, like how to figure out what it is. A data set can often, you might open a file and it's just a list of numbers and words separated by commas. And we wanted to make it clear to people that there are tools out there and things that are included with data to help you interpret that, and it's not as scary as it might seem.
We wanted a low-stakes way for people to be able to experiment and play with some new digital methods. So something where they weren't having to introduce it to their classroom. It wasn't going to be a major part of their research yet. It was just sort of a low-stakes way for them to try out a few methods. Because again, especially for humanities and the humanistic social sciences who aren't used to working with data, there aren't many other opportunities for them to encounter it other than sort of on their own or in one-on-one consultations perhaps with Ryan if they knew to come to him for that. That was actually something that we joked about as sort of our roles in this workshop were sort of good data cop and bad data cop, which is a major simplification of how we approach data. But the idea was sort of, Ryan with his background in data services was sort of really able to talk about the best practices and the theory and the way to go about thinking about data and working with it.
I want to make everything very clear with data, and Alicia would be there to push back and talk about the ways that data can sometimes make concepts more fuzzy and how we have to embrace that fuzziness sometimes. So I think that was it was a good way to approach the topic, especially for the range of participants we had.
One of the biggest challenges, I think, was really working with multiple disciplines. So trying to find ways of working with data that were attractive to people in history, people in library sciences, people in economics and mathematics. I think that was where we saw some really interesting collaborations happening in some of the group work, but also I think one of our biggest challenges.
And working with data, when you're making a data visualization, being able to imagine what's possible is a bigger hurdle than learning a tool. We wanted the tool usage to be pretty easy to see that, sitting down and playing with the tool is something you can do, but it's really doing this and imagining what's possible is something that takes a little bit of working, and that's where we wanted to push people towards.